graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
Got voices in my head. Just gotta get them out sometimes.
This is me, the Explosion. You're listening to Two Strangers on Podcast. Bunch of douchebags.
Hello, this is Snappapause. You're listening to Two Strangers One Podcast. You know who else likes Two Strangers One Podcast?
My mom! A bunch of a-holes.
Well, hello and welcome to Two Strangers One Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Paul.
And I'm sorry, Paul. I feel like I'm cheating on you. I felt the last episode, I felt like I was cheating on you.
Don't worry, I'll throw you out a window. It'll be fine.
It was strictly a physical relationship. I still only have eyes for you.
Mm-hmm. Fucking liar. Don't worry, Uncle Durrell will have a little visit with you later.
Well, but I do want to say thank you to Christopher Vangelis for coming on the last episode. Basically, he is an artist. He's an aspiring comic book artist, and him and I have been going back and forth. And I was reaching out to him. Part of our going back and forth is that I wrote a complete script for like a Batman comic. I mean, it's just one issue, but like I sat there and I planned it out. Like I actually opened up like a more recent issue of like a DC comic book to kind of figure out what kind of format to use and how the layout is and everything like that. So like I wrote a complete, one-shot issue, and so I was trying to like recruit him in his art stylings, and of course I want it to be like I want to compensate for his time. I don't want to just be like, hey, draw this comic book for free. But that being said, I'm a fan of his art, and the funny thing is that he's most of the art that I see that he mostly does Marvels, and here I am hitting him up for a DC character. But I think it's kind of if you take somebody and you push them out of their comfort zone, I think it might work out. I mean, who knows? I mean, I just wanted to do that comic book to be like it would be like a sampling of my writing and maybe a sampling of his art. It would kind of be like a business card, sort of like, oh, here's a copy of our comic. Either hire me as a writer or hire him as an artist, and take it from there. So, like I said, I do feel like I was cheating on you.
Fucking piece of shit.
And right now, here in Rochester, we're going through,
Snowmageddon.
And let me tell you, we're recording this about an hour after the time we had actually planned to record it. Because on my way home, I was ironically stuck behind a Trailblazer. You would think, a vehicle with the name of Trailblazer would be, a little more effective in driving, and probably, seriously, where are we at? We're like at 3 inches of snow right now. We're not that, we're not that.
Well, you gotta understand, though, the idiots in this city don't know how to fucking plow, so.
Yeah. And it's one of those deals where, like, I finally got it, like, I had to make a right. So I'm driving, and I go to make a right, I turn on my signal, then he turns his fucking signal on. And I was just like, fuck! I was so fucking pissed off. I was like, okay, I'll make a right, and I don't have to drive behind this fucking spineless piece of shit anymore. And then it ended up...
No, please tell me how you really feel.
It's just, if you're scared to fucking drive, don't drive. I had to go to work. I understand, like, okay, I was forced, I have to go to work. If I was, and it's funny, while I'm at work, you see these people who come out, I don't want to get into where I work at, but long story short, there are people who do have to come to my job. There are customers who do have, it's a necessity to come out.
Pretty much they live around the corner, and that's the only place they can go to, pretty much.
That's what I'm saying. When you're getting things that are necessary for living, okay. When you're going out and you're getting like snacks and shit like that, like is your life that fucking pathetic that you have to get out of your house? I mean, I see people like, you got to be very fucking miserable. And this is coming from a guy. I'm miserable. I'm a miserable bastard. But I love being home. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like to run errands. I like to feel useful and shit like that. But where I work, I see the same fucking people every fucking day. who come in and buy one or two things. And, I'm the type of person where, okay, like when I do go food shopping,
Right.
I buy everything that I need for at the very fucking least the next week.
Right.
I buy more. I can understand bread, milk, what else? Bread, milk, and eggs, I think, are the only things that you should have to, when you're making like an unscheduled visit.
Right.
And so you see these people like every fucking day, and now mind you, that these people, them coming out to the store, they're unemployed. That's definitely unemployed. So them getting out of their house, this is their one thing of the day. These people are not productive in any way, shape, or form. They got nothing else to look forward to other than, maybe getting drunk and watching TV, so it's, thank God part of me is like, thank God my life's not that fucking pathetic. Yeah, I come home to go talk on, say dirty words on the internet, but at least it's something, it gives me, it's a sad state of affairs when like people like, you have the world at your fingers, you have the internet at your fingertips. Like, I don't understand people who say like they're bored. Like, who the fuck is bored? I don't, no, don't be wrong. I'll be lazy and I don't want to do anything. But for me, there's always fucking stuff to do. There's always stuff that I need to do.
Right.
Or even stuff I want to do.
Well, I mean, like today, like I didn't, I went to Walmart and then I came back. That's pretty much all I did. I stayed with my girl and that was it. Like, I'm not going to fucking do anything today because it's been terrible out. And I know how stupid people are. And I know how the fucking city like plows their goddamn streets. So why put myself out in that goddamn situation if I don't need to?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The car, and don't even get me started. I also had to take I took my car to the mechanic this morning. And long story short, okay, let's be real here. My car, and I looked it up. I literally went up on the Kelly Blue Book, in fine condition. Now, mind you, my car is not in fine condition.
No, it's not.
And fine is the lowest ranked condition. There's nothing under fine. There's like fine, good, and excellent or something to that effect. But fine is the lowest amount. With my year, my make and model, fine, my car is valued at about $1,500, and that is a very upbeat, positive view because I know my car's not worth $1,500. And especially my particular car that looks like, my car looks like a fucking Mad Max. My car looks like it's been through fucking Armageddon. And so, like I said, at absolute best, my car is worth $1,500.
Right.
So I go to the mechanic, and the mechanic goes, to get everything fixed and get everything the way it's supposed to be working, $2,400. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. So right now I'm just like, I'm
Well,
really
looks like you're going to go find another fucking car. That's for sure.
That's the whole thing. I mean, for that kind of money, hopefully I'll make whatever moves I got to make to get my tax return early and stuff like that. But my car it's 11 years old, and it's 11 years old and we're already in December.
Right.
So it's going on 12 years old. I drive like a fucking maniac. Now, don't get me wrong. When I say drive like a maniac, I don't drive like a maniac, but I drive aggressive. I drive, you have to drive aggressive.
I drive aggressive.
You can't be a fucking pussy out there. But that's the whole thing is that, from being in New York, I drive it. It's like, I was so pissed off because I'm kind of coming up a hill, right? And this fucking Prius gets in front of me. And mind you, like, I slow down because I want to smash into the fucking Prius. And then since I'm kind of going up a hill, like, my car didn't go backwards, but it started going almost sideways. Because I got stuck behind, I was letting a Prius, I should have been more aggressive and fucking just drove around it, but.
That would have been a Paul phone call. Paul, can you come pick me up? I'm in the middle of nowhere. I would have been like, yeah, about that.
Well, that's like when you went to pick me up for to catch the bus to go to New York City. I had given you a key to my apartment only because I'm like, in case I fucking die, in case you don't hear from me for a little while, you go on Facebook. You just come and make sure that, my cat hasn't eaten my face off.
I don't think your cat's going to eat your face off.
Because at least, like, if I die in the street, they'll get my ID off me and, they'll do a bit of their homework and contact my family and stuff like that. If I die in my house, that's it. I think my boss would probably come to my house after about 2 or 3 days. If he called and, it's sad when you have to kind of think of that. Like, I don't have anybody in my life. If I die, how long is it going to take before they come and realize that I'm fucking, what if I slip in a shower and snap my fucking neck, whatever.
No, it's fine. Me and Kelsey will have a free apartment. It'll be fine. Oh, I'm sorry. Were we supposed to be worried about your life? I'm sorry.
Just roll the fat guy out of here. throw him in a fucking dumpster. Take his fucking cat. Throw his cat outside. Yeah, so but that was a, yeah, but, I always get worried about shit like that. Like, how long is it gonna? But I think I was also like my baby mama would probably like she knows where I live, so she'd probably be like, where the fuck is he?
Which is probably the reason your car is fucked up. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no. Well, I mean, there's other things going on under they said like the control arm is fucked up, and I was wondering because I just got tires recently. Remember, like I told you, I just got tires a couple of months ago.
Right.
When they magically got slashed. But ever since I got those tires, like, that was like what, maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Dude, like, let me tell you something. Nobody just slashes something. Nobody just randomly comes up and slices your tires. Okay. And by the way, I know where you live now, and I've seen that neighborhood. I mean, okay, fine. You are in the city, but that doesn't seem like a bad neighborhood.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, especially like where I live. Like the good thing about where I live is like it's off the beaten path.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like no one comes down my block unless they have business down my block.
Right.
Oh no, that was definitely a personal attack on my car. When my tires got slashed.
There's no way. Like when I saw that, I said to Kelsey, I was like, yeah, there's no way. Like if somebody comes,
just some kids.
Yeah, if somebody came down there, there's a reason somebody came down there and did something, because there's no way that that was just something random,
Oh yeah, no, but I'm saying is that since I got those new tires, I've
Right.
noticed that the treads on my tires are a little they're further down than they should be for tires that are like 3 months old. And basically, the mechanic said that since my control arm is fucked up on the car, that the wheel kind of like, for the lack of a better term, wobbles a little bit or whatever the case may be. And it's basically there's a lot more pressure on the wheel than what's supposed to be on there.
Right.
So, along with that and a new catalytic converter. And now that she hit me, it was the woman that worked at the place, the mechanic place. I don't know if they're hitting me with a fucking line of bullshit where they're like, that they have to, the catalytic converter. You need a new catalytic converter, and that I get, and I think I'm due for a new catalytic converter. But then
Right.
she goes, oh, it has to be a catalytic converter from the dealership. Now, mind you, this isn't a dealership place. This is fucking Joe Blow's fucking, mechanic shop. But she's like, oh, the new regulations in New York State when it comes to, getting, passing inspection on your car and all this other bullshit. You need, and that sounds bullshit. There's too much of an industry, especially here in Rochester, of like used car parts and stuff like that. Like if you go
Right.
a little east, they have like the yards where you can actually like pull, you can pull the stuff off the cars or whatever, and repurpose and reuse and take things off cars and put on your car. I think she was hitting me with a line of bullshit. And this was a place that actually like I found on Yelp. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it got good reviews.
Dude, like I'm just saying, like if you're gonna get like, don't just go get a new car. Like,
Well, no, I'm not gonna put that.
I can look up on Craigslist right now and be like, oh look, $1,000, and you can have a car in like a couple weeks after a paycheck.
Yeah,
Right, I mean?
That's the whole thing. Is no, it's not. That's all. No, but I mean, like that. I mean, I feel when mechanics, they have you by the fucking balls, man. Like, and mind you, this is the second mechanic I took it to, because I took it to this other guy a week ago, and he basically said he's not even gonna try to work on my car.
Mm-hmm.
Like he goes, there's a million things it could be, and I'm not even gonna get in. Like I'm like, I never heard of a mechanic not wanting to do the job, or maybe he knew that he was gonna just give me a price that was more than what the car was worth, and I'm just gonna say no, so he just kind of just said fuck it. But I'm so fucking like, I'm up shit's creek. I mean, the car drives and everything like that. It's just
Right.
How long before it finally fucking breaks down, and especially now that I'm driving through this fucking snow. I'm like, ugh,
Well, dude, like I said, I would, if the first chance that you can get a goddamn car, I would do it, because, well, you kind of need that.
The disadvantages of being poor.
I know what that's like.
So, in other news, longtime listener and loyal fan, Danny Duncan, Bat Dan, whatever you want to call it, he is now a proud daddy of Orla Georgie. Orla is I looked it up on Wikipedia. Now, mind you, he's Scottish, but this name...
Scottish.
What was that?
Scottish.
Scottish. If it's not Scottish, it's crap. he's the father of a beautiful baby girl, Orla Georgie.
Yep.
And because I just obviously us as Americans and we're so like what kind of a name is Orla? But okay, it's a name of Irish derivation. Let me see. It comes from the original Irish spelling of the personal name Orline or what? Okay, I fucked that up. Okay, in the Irish language, it means gold or princess or sovereign. So I mean, I guess it's like a royal name or whatever. The gold. Okay, so it means like golden prince or princess. So the name dates back to the pre-Christian Gaelic Ireland and still in use today. So Orla Georgie, welcome to the world. And a big shout out to Danny. Congrats on being a dad. Say goodbye to any kind of good, comfortable sleep that you've ever had, because that's it. You're done. For at least the next year, you're not going to sleep because, one, if the baby doesn't keep you awake, when things are actually quiet, then you get scared when things are fucking quiet. Because when my daughter when my daughter was born, I was just like, when she was quiet, I was, unfortunately being a dad, you fear the worst. Like, why is everything being so quiet,
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
when you peek in the crib and you just like, you see her little chest moving, like she's breathing. I'm like, okay, I can relax now. So, when there's a lot of noise, it drives you crazy. When there's no noise, it drives you crazy.
When there's no noise, you sit there and go, what just happened?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even when they get a little older, also no noise is always a bad sign because no noise means they're up to no good. That means you're gonna walk.
Exactly.
You're gonna catch them, trying to climb, make a ladder in the kitchen with the chairs and the kitchen table, trying to get to the top of the refrigerator to reach the cookies or some shit. So that's when you notice everything gets real quiet. They'll be screaming and laughing and stomping around, but as soon as things get quiet, something bad is happening. So once again, congrats to him. I remember like when my daughter was being born, or like when she was still, when my baby mama was pregnant. I had read the book What to Expect When You're Expecting, which is more of like a guidebook. It's not a book and print proper. It's just a guidebook. Like, okay, you're 3 months. Here's what's going on in the body, and here's what's going on. And actually, it was like a really, really good book. So, of course, it's a little too late for me to recommend that book, but they also make What to Expect the First Year. So I haven't had a chance to read that, but you may want to get your hands on that book, only because, like, What to Expect When You're Expecting was such a good book. I mean, when you're a guy, I don't have a vagina, I don't have a womb. And I was, reading that book when my baby mama was pregnant. I mean, it really did kind of let you know what's going on. It is funny, like, okay, it's like, and they kind of like, now the hormones are flowing, so
Oh God. Yes, let's scare this guy even more now.
Yeah. So I'm just saying is, it was knowledge is power. So like if What to Expect the First Year is anything as good as What to Expect When You're Expecting, I would recommend getting that book. I also want to give a shout out to Oscar, our South American. I love Oscar. He sends the most ridiculous emails. He was pissed off because the last episode that we did was because when we missed a week. Then and like the same night I put out the last episode with the other Christopher. He was like, I'm going. He sent me an email saying, I'm going through withdrawal, man. So shout out to Oscar. So it's funny, like our
Oscar, don't worry. Just give me your address. I'll send Uncle Darrell down there, and everything's fine. Uncle Darrell loves free food, and he also likes to stab people. So
Jesus.
It's a win-win situation. Hey, I like to put some hits out on people, huh? What you gonna do?
And so I've been and also like in more personal news. I mean,
Plus Darrell needs to get laid, so let's. Get some of those Spanish women. He'll be fine.
Oh, what's going on there?
What's going on there? Well, you mean date Darrell?
Well, because I started listening to like the last episode of Tsunami Faithful, but like you were sick and Sketch was sick, and not the, I guess not the last one because you kind of had one that came out like yesterday, right? Or
yeah, something like that.
Well, the one before that, and also, I want to say a thank you to Sketch, our Too Many Cooks video, because like I had mentioned to you before the episode, I would like for us to kind of do videos for YouTube where it would be like, we watch a video or something like that at the same time, which is I kind of want us to look at just coming out tonight, the Mad Max Fury Road trailer and the Hot Tub Time Machine 2 trailer. And I kind of just want to make videos for the internet where, people could see us and kind of like see that we're funny. Ha ha ha. And then, these guys are entertaining, and I'm going to
Uh-huh.
listen to their podcast and buy a Click and Hit and buy Christopher's book.
And look, I shouldn't listen to them anymore because they're fools.
Yeah. And so I would like, I want to say thank you to Sketch, because our video, the commentary from the audio that I used for the video, the Too Many Cooks video, we've actually hit 1,000 views, and that was actually like 2 days ago. So I mean, I know, in this day of YouTube and stuff like that, like 1,000 isn't a big accomplishment, but shit, it means a lot to me. So I want to kind of keep that trend going. It was nice because even like YouTube even sent me like a thing like, you've reached 1,000 views. I was like, wow, that's so. And also, I have, long story short, I got my hands on a 5-year-old MacBook. Because to replace my old MacBook Pro that my daughter ended up pouring orange juice on and went away. So I got my editing software back. I got my Final Cut Pro, and then the cool thing was that when I was retrieving my serial number, the people at Apple made a little mistake and accidentally gave me the serial number for Final Cut 4, which I originally had Final Cut 3, and then it was 3.5.
Ooh, I'm telling.
Hey, look. First and foremost, I paid for the product outright, and Apple official. This wasn't some sketchy BitTorrent thing. They sent me the serial number, but when they sent me the serial number in the email, it said this is for Final Cut Express 4, and I had Final Cut Express 3. So it's HD. Mm-hmm. So hopefully, when we do these videos, I might be able to edit them and put out proper HD videos as opposed to the crap that I was putting out before.
You do realize I have editors for this, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I kind of, look, like I said, I don't like I'm not bored. I want to sit and I want to make some videos and stuff like that. I mean, it gives me something to do. It keeps me off the streets, keeps me out of trouble.
That's what we want to do. We want to keep you out of trouble. Like,
yeah,
you by yourself. Anyway.
And so I just...
I mean, there's too many cooks, so...
Yeah, that's fine. The Too Many Cooks one keeps me out of trouble. I mean, I don't know. When it says... I got so happy when it said we got 1,000 views, so... and also, I tweeted earlier tonight to Greg Capullo.
You tweeted earlier?
I tweeted earlier. Because I thought there was sort of like a rumor announced or it was sort of going around that Scott Snyder, because Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder are they're a team that usually works together when it comes to making like the more recent Batman comic books. They've done The Court of Owls. They've done, which is a Batman storyline. They've done this one called Death of the Family, which is like basically like the Joker kidnaps like all the people who've been Robin and Batgirl and all those other people, and he tortures them, and he's kind of like telling Batman like, I love you because I want you to be strong, and all these other Batman, all these Robins just hold you back, and I'm going to kill them to make you stronger. So the rumor was that Scott Snyder, I thought Greg Capullo was down with it also, but it turns out I was wrong. Scott Snyder and Frank Miller are going to work together and do a part 3 of, because there was the Dark Knight Returns. The Dark Knight Strikes Back. The Dark Knight Returns, which is what was made into the movie, the DC animated movie. The Dark Knight Strikes Back, which a lot of people liked, but it was kind of like, kind of critically panned or whatever. And now they're doing a part 3. Now, remember, in The Dark Knight Returns, there was the Carrie Kelly character, the Robin played by the female. The rumor is floating around behind this, Scott Snyder, like I said, the writer who usually works with Greg Capullo, and Frank Miller are going to be doing a book where it's Kara Kelly basically being, it's her grown up as Batman. But like, I don't know, since she's a girl, I don't know if she's going to be Batman, but it's not Batwoman and she's not Batgirl. So that's going to be rather interesting. Because I tweeted at Greg Capullo and I thought he was involved with it. And he says, no, he's not involved with it. But like all the other people, like a whole bunch of other people started retweeting back about that it's not him, it's his writing partner, Scott Snyder. So when that comes through, that's going to be fucking awesome. And I think, especially, with Batman v Superman coming out, a lot of people are going to be excited about that.
Right.
Let me see.
Well, I think we should go to a commercial break here.
Yeah, we're going to go to a break, and we'll be right back with more Dick and Fart jokes.
This episode of Two Strangers, One Podcast is brought to you by Comics Etc., 1115 East Main and North Goodman at the Hungerford Building, door number 8. Find out more information at comicsetc.biz or like them on Facebook at facebook.com/comicsetc1.
Click and Hit, enhancing the experience for all recreational smokers. Click and Hit is a one-handed portable vaporizer. This smoking pipe has a compact 4-stage design, complete with a built-in, windproof, butane refillable torch lighter. The large burn chamber holds your stash of legal herb or pipe tobacco. Click the button to ignite and inhale as usual. When you are done, put it back in your pocket for later. Smoke anytime with the touch of a button. No more carrying around grinders and tins. You can leave the pipe, rolling papers, and even your lighter at home. The Click and Hit cordless vaporizer is no bigger than a normal cigar, making it the world's smallest and most discreet vaporizer. It's perfect for use in small places or shared rooms. It's efficient, getting 5 to 8 draws from your packed chamber. It's affordable at just $19.95 each. Buy 3 and the shipping is free. Buy 4 and you get the 5th one free. Visit www.click-hit.com. That's clickandhit.com. And now for listeners of Two Strangers One Podcast, you can use promo code STRANGERS and receive 10% off your purchase at clickandhit.com. That's promo code STRANGERS for 10% off your purchase.
And we're back. Okay, so there's a couple of things in the news. There was an attack on...
there was an attack on Titan. No, there was an attack on Sony.
Okay, what was it? The Midwest... Shit, I lost the name of it. Midwest Fur Fest, which was in Illinois, and it was basically a convention for furries, people who like to dress up or enjoy that, dressing up looking like mascots for teams and stuff like that. And they had, and this is at the Hyatt, the Hyatt Regency at the O'Hare Hotel, and they had left chlorine out to have the chlorine gas. It was for what the purpose? This was a fucking a terrorist attack. I mean, obviously when you say terrorist attack, I mean it kind of paints much more damage than just making people lightheaded and dizzy. But that's pretty fucked up that they would attack a hotel, and not to mention a hotel. Yes, okay, you got people that are furries, and unfortunately, they're kind of they're not looked upon. But long story short, it's a group of people meeting for any fucking reason, and they're releasing chlorine gas or whatever the case may be. That's right. Pretty fucked up, man. That's and of course it's kind of fucked up because people they're not taking it seriously because they're oh, it's furries, and it's still this isn't a prank or anything. People could have really gotten fucking hurt from this. I know kind of it ends up in my timeline because I have friends that are into Comic Cons and stuff like that, and that's sort of a slight derivation from the Comic Con scene. And I mean, how fucked up would it have been if someone did that at New York Comic Con? Saying
it'd be really fucked up. Yeah.
And wasn't one of the guys? Wasn't there a Comic Con at the O'Hare Hotel?
Yeah, it was up in Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
that was a while ago. Yeah.
This was just a couple months ago. This was the host to Comic Con. Mm-hmm. The furries deserve the respect. It's really fucked up that shit like that's happening. And then really with chlorine gas, that's one of those deals where you can get that anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Chlorine. I mean, with the gas, the fumes that come from chlorine. Anybody could go to fucking Home Depot and get chlorine. I remember there was one time I was. It was years and years and years ago, and I was working in summer youth in New York City. There was summer youth is a program. They give teenagers jobs for the summer, and we were cleaning out a cafeteria for a school because in the summertime. And I don't know how it is in Rochester, but in New York City, if you're poor, you can get free lunch at a city school. Right. In the summertime, because usually kids get that free meal at school anyway. But during the summer months, I mean, if you're that broke, you could go to a city school and get free lunch. So one day, they had us cleaning the cafeteria, and it was after the free lunch or whatever. And someone had mixed. Some of the people were using bleach, and some of the people were using ammonia. And when you mix bleach and ammonia, that is a lethal. That makes a gas that can kill. And I remember it fucking stunk. And thank God no one got hurt then. And that was an accidental. Saying that was obviously an accidental because I remember whoever was supervising, what the hell are you doing? You could kill us. Imagine if someone, like I said, bleach, if you carry bleach by itself, no one's going to question it, you know? You carry ammonia by itself, no one's going to question it. You mix the two, it's fucking deadly combination. I mean, I don't want to put dangerous ideas in dangerous people's minds, but I'm just saying, it's kind of hard to, for all the lack of a better term, it was a fucking terrorist attack.
Right.
I know, like, people, you look at furries and go, they're goofy assholes, but no, it's like, it's fucking horrible. It scares the shit out of me because, I don't want to fucking be in a situation. What if people panicked? What if people started running? What if people got fucking trampled? I mean, not just it's just going to make them dizzy and lightheaded. No, what if people panicked? What if people, got trampled and shit like that? It's could have been a lot worse. So, like I said, I think to the best of my knowledge, no one was like seriously hurt, but I mean, just a lot of complaints, and
right.
Unfortunately, it could have been a lot worse. Fortunately, it could have been. Fortunately, it could have been a lot worse. Okay, so the Sony leaks. I guess a lot of people are saying that this was because Sony Pictures has gone on to set a release date for that movie, The Interview, starring Seth Rogen and James Franco, where they play reporters, and as reporters, they're recruited by the CIA or some government intelligence agency to assassinate Kim Jong-un. Which, it's a bold, for you to put out in this fucking political climate, to put out a movie talking about assassinating a dictator, and a dictator who has hostility towards the United States. I mean, it was a ballsy fucking move for them to make this movie. And so a lot of people are saying that it was, Kim Jong, and now mind you, in a country like North Korea, they have a large, they have a blackout on the internet. Like, they don't get the internet there. And with that being said, there are people, I think if they do get an internet, it's like highly, highly monitored and highly, censored. So they have a bunch of people that are probably very, very good with computers, working in North Korea to keep like a media blackout on what the hell's going on in that country. That being said, obviously Kim Jong-un, who, we laugh and make jokes, but I mean, like, is a guy who seems to be not all there. Even his father, we make jokes about his father, but, Kim Jong-il, I'm so Romery, we goof, but, here's a guy with a lot of power and, a couple of sandwiches short of a picnic. I mean, this guy's, he's a little crazy and he has a lot of power and he's looking for more power. And so a lot of people feel that he sort of gave the go-ahead for hackers to hack into Sony. And, Sony, unfortunately, they just do not have their shit together, because this is like the third major attack.
Yeah, on Sony. Especially with PS3.
Yeah, with the PlayStation Network. I mean, coincidentally, at that particular time, I wasn't using the PlayStation Network, but there were people who didn't have it months. Like the whole summer. And like when you play games, like I like to play DC Universe Online, and that's a game that's exclusively on the PlayStation Network. Like you can't play that, and if you like that game, and you're dead. You're not dead. I mean, but, you're fucked. There was, and then like for the people, and it's funny, I was trying to see if I could cash in on it. Like what they did was when they finally got it back up and running, they gave people a free copy of a download of Infamous and Infamous 2, two great games, which I never played, but I hear good things. So like Sony tried to say sorry by giving people a free download. But what happens if you already owned Infamous and Infamous 2? You were still fucked for months on end. Not to mention that, people, Sony has people's credit card numbers. They said social security numbers, but I can't see why would Sony have your social security number?
Right.
But definitely credit card numbers, because, I've had Sony's had my credit card number, like when for me to buy games and downloadable content, stuff like that. So technically, I mean, I could be affected. I mean, I'm so broke, you can't take money. You can't get money from blood from a stone. But, I would notice if there was money missing from my account, I guess would be the best way to put it. But, but this wasn't like an average hack. I mean, they hacked into like Sony's, like they had hacked into people's emails and stuff like that. And of course, I mean, tons of this was just, bullshit back and forth, run of the mill corporate emails where like, oh, Joe, make sure you have your TPS report filled out or whatever.
TPS work.
But
Make sure you have your TBS report filled in right now.
but there were, as we're recording this tonight, I mean, there were some interesting ones interesting emails that were kind of brought out. One of them that's like hitting the internet tonight hard was that they were talking about a 21 Jump Street Men in Black crossover, where it would be 21 because they were doing it was 23 Jump Street because they already did 22 Jump Street. 23 Jump Street was going to have aliens, once again, this was all speculative, as in this is one email from someone to another. There's going to be any fucking Joe Schmo at Sony to another Joe Schmo at Sony, talking about, a Men in Black 21 Jump Street crossover.
Right.
But I did like the one that kind of bashed Adam Sandler movies. It was saying like this is like formulaic crap, and we don't. Why is this? Why are we investing our money in this? I don't know if they called him an idiot, but they're like, why are we investing our money in this formulaic crap when we should be making? We have so much the potential of doing so much better movies. And then the movie that they put as what they should be doing is The Social Network. And don't get me wrong, I love David Fincher. You know what I'm saying? I love Seven. I love Fight Club. I love The Game. David Fincher in his more recent years, I don't think he's as edgy as he was before. I mean, he's done Gone Girl and Benjamin Button and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Right.
I mean, really, of all the movies that you could aspire to, you could aspire to The Social Network, but it wasn't a bad movie. It's just, but it's funny how I just love how they just bashed Adam Sandler movies. Because, I mean, even I'm getting fucking sick and tired of Adam Sandler. I mean, and I just hate, he takes these movies and it's like him and his wife is Selma Hayek. Really?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck how much money you got. Adam Sandler isn't getting fucking Selma Hayek. Only in a fantasy world. Go back to making, and he's making, because once again, these movies cost fucking $20 to make. And fucking the morons come out in droves to watch them. You know what I'm saying? And what blended and adult, well, no, not adults, grown-ups. At least like when he made The Water Boy or even like Little Nicky. I mean, those movies are trying to be different. You know what I'm saying? Where he's playing like a character. These are like. Oh, the dog farted. Oh, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just sad. Just sad.
It'll be okay, Chris. Would you like me to comfort you?
But part of this whole Sony deal, or Sony stuff that was leaked on Sony, was there was some speculation about where Spider-Man may be going.
Yes, I did
want to talk about that.
Oh, well, it got me all tingly inside when I saw that. Yes, I said tingly inside when I saw that the possibility. My spider sense in my pants. Apparently there was this talk about having Spider-Man in Civil War, and Civil War is apparently doing. Yeah, they wanted to have him in there, and apparently Sony is worried about the Spider-Man franchise. Basically, I don't know.
They know they fucked up.
They know they fucked up, and I think, it's basically showing that what they should have done is they should have continued what they were doing with Tobey Maguire and that franchise, because if they'd done that, it probably would have done well. Now, don't get me wrong, the problem started with number 3 of the first trilogy, because, well, basically it's come out in years after that they basically made Sam Raimi, they forced him to put Venom in there. Because they forced him to put Venom in there, it turned out shitty.
Yeah,
and,
shitty Venom.
Right, and there's nothing he could do about it. That's what he said. He's like, there's nothing I could have done about it. I was forced to do it. I had a timetable. I had to get this out by a certain time, which the contracts are like that, because apparently you have to have movies out by a certain time. And,
especially with a movie like Spider-Man, where, if
right.
X amount of time doesn't pass, they lose the fucking contract.
Yeah, and, hey, look, I understand you fucked up, but you guys should be willing to at least say, hey, look, I fucked up. And they should, really at this point, what they should do is kind of experiment into the Marvel universe. Yes, okay, fine. Disney has Marvel now. But here's the thing. You could make billions of dollars by selling off the Spider-Man franchise and making money. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you do it? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because if let's just say, because, they obviously have plans for the Sinister Six movie.
Right.
So if you let Marvel have Peter Parker or Spider-Man, whatever, you would generate, it's a free fucking commercial, where then, when the Sinister Six movie comes in, boom, or when Spider-Man 3 comes out, boom, the same way, they put the X-Men trailer when they put or did they put the no, what trip was it? Days of Future Past at the end of.
Are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, didn't they put the X-Men trailer at the end of the Spider-Man movie or something like that?
I think so. Yeah. I think you're right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, you should let go of the reins a little bit. Let Marvel work their magic. Obviously they're gonna work in favor of generating another doing good for Spider-Man. And then, you could go out with a bang, do Spider-Man 3, or the Amazing Spider-Man 3, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, and at least give you a good jumping off point. So then you can do, Sinister Six and stuff like that. Like, if you're going to sit there and be greedy, you're going to end up killing it. You're going to end up smothering this franchise that, has been very good to you, and you don't want to be good to it.
Well, I think the point that we need to really make is look at what happened with, God, what am I trying? Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy. Look at what happened with the Avengers. If you get Spider-Man into one of these franchises, you're going to obviously expand Spider-Man. So why not have the conversation with Disney? Hey, we're going to allow you to do this, but this is how much we want from the movie. Mm-hmm. You telling me that Disney's going to sit there and go, no, fuck you? No, they're not. Because Spider-Man is a very popular property. And by the way, maybe, I'm not saying you have to do this, and I'm not saying that it is going to happen this way, but maybe you might want to go back to Tobey Maguire and go, hey, you want to come back and do some Spider-Man movies? Because, yeah, he was the best one that we've had so far. No offense to Andrew, but...
Yeah, I don't think they would do that. I think they would... I'm just saying, the current incarnation of Sony, the current incarnation of Spider-Man... I think if they stood and said, look, no, you have to use Andrew Garfield because that will generate the buzz for our Spider-Man 3, or Amazing Spider-Man 3, excuse me. And you can work it. I think if given the love and care that goes into the Marvel movies, they can use Andrew Garfield and make him fucking badass. And you're just borrowing him. You're just lending him. I don't know. It just seems like, why can't we all get along? Don't we all want to make money? And don't we want to give the fans what they want? We'll see anything with Marvel slapped on the front of it. But
yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't foresee it taking too long for them to be like, so Disney, what you doing?
How awesome would it be?
Oh God, I'm jizzing in my pants thinking about it.
And there's that. Okay, what else? Oh, and also part of the hack that was going on at. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Actually, I can talk about that actually a little bit too. Two of the movies I know for sure. There's like 3 other ones that they got, and I don't think they're anything too big. But Annie was one of them, which doesn't come out for another week or 2, which is kind of funny. And Fury, which I don't understand why you would go and get Fury when Fury's been in theaters for a while. I kind of want to look at these hackers and be like, oh, okay, well, that's been in the theaters for a while, but okay, go ahead.
One, if you get Fury, let's just not, there is a entire community online of people who release movies. First, when a movie's still in the theater, there's the whole round of like shitty video camera in the movie theater copies. So I'm pretty sure this copy that was circulating that they feel came from the Sony hack was, full-on Blu-ray HD version of Fury. Because the DVD isn't scheduled to come out for a couple of months. And it was probably the same deal with Annie, which every time I think of Annie, there was an episode of Two Strangers One Podcast well over a year ago or 2 years ago that was called Black Annie. Because it was back when they first announced it, and they said that that Jay-Z was like producing it, and it was gonna have what's his face, the guy who plays Daddy Warbucks. Who played Electro? Why am I drawing a blank on this guy's name? In Living Color, this guy, whatever the fuck his name is. I had made the joke of saying, they might as well just call the movie Black Annie, which is, and then, because, Annie was a redheaded character, but I guess, the girl kind of has like an auburn hair to her, it looks interesting. I grew up with one Annie, so, I'm one of those people like, oh, I don't understand why things have to change. But,
Right.
But yeah, so Annie, and with that being said, with the Sony hack and all these movies going around, what started off in fucking North Korea ended up in fucking Sweden, because Sweden, who is notoriously relaxed on their copyright infringement rules, Swedish police shut down the Pirate Bay, the BitTorrent website. And let me see, I should just look that up real quick. But once again, if you're part of that underground community, which basically goes in yeah, it was the Swedish police. Like I said, you can go right now, and movies that are in the theater right now, you can go and download a shitty copy that someone has. Someone brought a video camera into a movie theater and recorded the movie. Of something that's in the movie theaters right now, you could probably get a shitty copy. And so the Swedish police raided. I guess there was so much heat because Sony's a major player. So much heat going on with the pirating of movies that haven't even come out yet that the Swedish police their hand were forced to raid the offices of Pirate Bay, and they seized the servers, computers, and other equipment. Honestly, not that this has put any kind of fucking dent in the internet. When there was what was once Napster, and that turned into Kaza or Kazaa, and that turned into Demonoid, Pirate Bay, Kick-Ass torrents. There's a whole Mini Nova. What was the other one? It was like something green, something. There's unfortunately there is a when you cut off one head, two more will rise. Unfortunately, black market and pirating and downloading on the internet is it's the Pandora's box has been opened. You're never going to undo that. You can't, but it just shows you the North Korea. So you can blame James Franco and Seth Rogen for making this movie and still having the balls to go out and put it out. Where it's international now. Went from North Korea to Sweden. And hopefully, I don't want my credit card information being stolen. But
yeah, no, I have too many bills right now as is.
But and let me tell you, I know a lot of people, especially in my job, when they hacked Home Depot. I think if you had like a Chase account and you shopped at Home Depot, they like made you get a new card, because there was people in my job that were using cards and they just got it like that day, and it was because they bought stuff at Home Depot. So unfortunately, and once again, that kind of hacking, that shit is out there. So it's kind of it's a crazy wild west right now. That's what's going on online. Right. So let me see. I just thought real quick. They have the Terminator. We're talking about Terminator Genesis. But they kind of, I think the coolest, if you watch the trailer, there's a part where like old Terminator fights new Terminator, the 80s Terminator.
It's really interesting because I'm sitting there watching it and I'm going, so they're going to use scenes from the previous ones? This should be interesting.
Well, I think, they've gotten CGI and all that, like, such down to a science.
Well, apparently
they can make something that looks like the way Arnold did in 82.
Right. Well, apparently, from what I've heard, and this is just basically rumors right now, I think it is what it is, but basically what happened is the premise of this movie is they're showing you basically Terminator number one, basically how that happened, where the guy went back in time.
It was like stuff from the original. It was like stuff from the original screenplay and stuff like that never got a chance to be filmed.
Right, and they're saying, okay, well we're gonna go back, or we're going. This is basically when this happened. Like he's going into the past to tell Sarah Connor, hey, we got to stop. This is what's going to happen. You need to help me stop this. Well, in this movie, basically, apparently what happens is somehow in this timeline, pretty much a Terminator that was reprogrammed, I guess, was sent back 3 or 4 years before this guy came into Sarah's life. So when he appears, all of a sudden, Sarah Connor is there with a vehicle. It's like, come get in here, soldier, if you want to live. And he's like, okay, how do you know about me? And basically, she basically explains, I know what's going to happen. We have a chance to stop all of this bullshit from happening, and we need to do this right now. So pretty much what this does is, from the looks of the trailer, it includes Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 in it. But what ends up happening is 3 and 4 just go to the wayside, basically.
Yeah. This is sort of like what they did with X-Men Days of Future Past, where it's kind of like, we know we fucked up in Part 3. We know we even kind of fucked up in Wolverine Origins, Origins Wolverine. Let's kind of write it in a way where, like, we could take the weakest movies of the franchise and kind of get rid of them.
Right.
Which is, it's smart in a way. If it's done right, it's fucking brilliant. I just hope it's not another,
it looks incredible, and I'm so excited for this movie. Like, I've never been excited for a Terminator movie as much as I have for this one. I mean, I actually did like 3. I thought 3 was really good, but like 4, and even Christian Bale kind of says it was pointless. You know, it was kind of like one of those things where you're like, okay, what was this? What was this all about? You know,
being a dead horse. Yeah, like you have like here's a Terminator movie that has like nobody involved in it that was like, you know, nobody that was from the original. You know, it's obviously just a cash in.
Right.
And so, and I wonder if they're gonna. And look, I did not watch any episode of the Sarah Connor Chronicles, but I wonder if they're gonna maybe weave in a little bit of that. Maybe, I don't know.
Right.
And if they don't, they don't. Fuck it.
Oh well.
But a lot of people that watch those kind of like, a lot of people that watch those shows, like, they think automatically it's going to be part of it's going to be part of it. But I mean, they also have to understand that there's people who never watched one episode of Sarah Connor Chronicles, and they don't know, and quite frankly, they don't care.
Right. Exactly.
And then also the Jurassic Park trailer. Have you seen that?
I have seen that, and we could talk about. This will be probably the last thing we talk about, but. I mean, I'm. How do I put this? I have been waiting for them to go back to the original park since the first movie. Because, like, the second and third one, I'm sitting there going, I don't give a shit about this other fucking island. I'm like, I don't really give a shit about, we tested these dinosaurs on this island, and we tested the dinosaurs on this island. I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit. Just take me back to the original island. That's what I want. That's what I fucking want. Give me the original island. And when I saw this trailer, I went, you did it. I was like, you got it right. You did exactly what I thought you were going to do. I think it's great the way that they set up the park. I'm interested to see what the mystery dinosaur is.
Yeah.
I'm also interested, if you notice at the end of the trailer, it's Chris Pratt, right? Chris Pratt is on a motorcycle, and there's these raptors around him, but they're not attacking him. And I'm like, okay, so he's controlling them?
I wonder. I think it's going to be okay. I mean, there's a couple of rumors because unfortunately, I kind of spoiled it a little bit. Whether I know people kind of like talking about it online. Some people say that part of the new splicing of the dinosaurs is they start splicing human DNA. And once again, this is all speculative. So these are intelligent, like they're smarter than the average raptor, and the raptors are supposed to be intelligent as it is. I wonder if this is sort of maybe even if you play with the idea of, because part of this whole thing was that the dinosaurs, they kind of finished up the DNA with bird DNA. Like they use. So remember, birds fly in a flock. Birds. With Chris Pratt on the motorcycle, it kind of looks like the way geese fly in like a V almost. I mean, where he's kind of like the leader of the pack, and with the motorcycle, maybe he's taken the alpha role or whatever the case may be. I mean, there's a couple. I mean, without while getting really really nerdy about it. I know someone I had seen something online, something to the effect that the mystery dinosaur is like a T-Rex but with longer arms. So like if the T-Rex wasn't fucking scary enough, now it could actually can reach down and pick you up and put it in its mouth.
Well, apparently, isn't it like, whatever it is, it's supposed to be more intelligent too, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I think one thing that's kind of definite is I think they're definitely going with we spliced in human DNA, so these things are smarter. But I think one of the once again purely speculative is that it's a T-Rex with long arms, which would look kind of weird. Kind of looks like, in my mind, I would picture something that kind of looks like Godzilla. But
right.
I mean, I just and I have to give a fucking round of applause for the scene where they have the great white shark, because Steven Spielberg, whose first major movie was Jaws, and then of course he gave us Jurassic Park, and they have this big fucking movie, I mean, where they have the shark, a great white shark, being pulled over a tank, and this thing is so fucking big that that a shark is like a fucking snack to it. So it's sort of like saying, like, it was kind of, in my opinion, it was like an homage to Steven Spielberg, where he made Jaws, and there are people to this day that are fucking terrified of going into the water because of Jaws. And then they go, okay, if that scared you, how about a fucking, how about a monster that eats the fucking great white shark like a fucking snack? So I thought that was fucking brilliant. I mean, I'm so happy for Chris Pratt. I mean, I'm glad he's kind of, because he was a fat guy. I mean, he lost a lot of weight and he got buff and everything like that. But
Is he your hero?
He's my hero. He's representing for the fat guys, even though he's not fat anymore. So yeah, that was, I think, it looks pretty fucking good. I mean, I'm not as excited about it as other people maybe, because I have friends of mine that are like super diehard Jurassic Park fans, but I'm definitely like, okay, my interest has been piqued and I definitely want to see it. So, let's start wrapping it up.
That's what she said.
You can visit twostrangersonePodcast.net. You can find links for everything show related. You can find the links to our iTunes. So if you have an iPhone, iPad, iPod, you can download every single episode of Two Strangers One Podcast. You can go back to over 2.5 years ago, and say, what the hell was Chris talking about back in December of 2012? You could go and actually listen to the episode where we talked. This episode called Black Annie. You could.
Oh God.
You can go back, listen to that. If you don't have an iPhone, iPad, or iPod, you can. If you have an Android device, you can listen to us on the Stitcher app. And what I like, Stitcher, quite frankly, is what I use. Nothing against iTunes, but Stitcher is the app that I use pretty much when I'm going on long road trips. I'll put on Stitcher and
taking long walks in the park.
Yeah, I mean, and all the podcasts worth listening to, Chris Hardwick's The Nerdist, Kevin Smith's Modcast, This American Life, Mark Maron, Adam Carolla, and of course, the Toonami Faithful podcast.
Damn straight.
You can listen to on Stitcher, and the cool thing about Stitcher is that, it downloads the most current episodes. I believe it's like the most 6 current episodes, and the most awesome thing, they've done recently in the past couple months is that if you're in a Wi-Fi spot and you have your phone, you can download it. Let's say you're at McDonald's or you're at Starbucks, you're at the public library. You could download the most recent episodes of all your favorite subscriptions, all the favorite podcasts, including the Two Strangers One podcast. And you don't have to use up your data when you're out and about. Go about your day, listen to the rest of the podcast, without having to put, if you have a limited data plan, like you have AT&T or whatever the case may be, you can listen to it without wasting your data. You can just download the episodes while you're in a Wi-Fi spot, which I think is awesome. Let me see. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/twostrangersonepodcast. If you have no other way to contribute to the show, it just takes 2 seconds to like us and share us with your friends. Just say, hey, check these guys out. They're funny. And Chris has a huge penis.
That's a lie. I've seen it, folks. It's a lie. It's a fucking lie.
If you want to reach out to us, like Oscar does when he curses us out, you can reach us at twostrangersonepodcast@gmail.com. Once again, it's twostrangersonepodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at Podcast. What was it?
Sounds like we have our own version of Arthur Mesa. Love you, Arthur. Fuck you, Arthur.
And if you can follow us on Twitter at Stranger Podcast. And once again, you can just retweet us or whatever the case may be. You can go to lulu.com and download my book, Double Jackpot. PDF is just $5, or hard copy is $15.
Download that piece of shit. Do it. It's money. Oh, I'm sorry. What?
And then, thank goodness Pirate Bay is not around anymore, so you can't download my book. But then again, you could probably download it somewhere else. And I acquiesce the floor to you, sir.
Oh, I was going to give everybody the book for free. You can find me on Twitter at Pulp Skrillo. You can also find me on Tumblr, pulpskrillo.tumblr.com. I'll be trying to put more stuff there, but, it's kind of hard when I got all this other fucking shit to do. Also, you can ask me questions, ask.fm/pulpskrillo. I do like questions, especially Toonami-related questions. Also, if you want to ask me when you can start asking about how to date Darrell, which is funny. Let's see what else.
Also, I'm sorry not to interrupt, but your other website, Geeky Inc. Productions, GeekeEinc, Geek
yes.
Inc. You can see my latest review for Batman: Assault on Arkham.
Well, the website's, I don't think the website's up right now, but if you do, basically, if you guys want to see it, if you go to youtube.com/geekyvideos, it's up there right now.
Geeky Videos, Geek, Geeke.
INC. No, Geeky Videos. It's GEEKE and then videos. So All right. And
Nerdcore Absolution.
Yes, Nerdcore Absolution Volume 3. I did announce that. I haven't been talking about that much. I'm encouraging everybody to like our new social media. It's at NerdcoreCD, and also on Facebook, facebook.com/NerdcoreAbsolution. If you like that page on Facebook or follow it on Twitter, you'll get up-to-date information about the CDs. Pretty much, I thought that the CD was big enough that it deserved its own social media stuff, and, well, I want to protect my stuff. So, so basically, if you guys, like I said, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask me, and there will be more information about Nerdcore Absolution Volume 3 going forward, so look for that, but that's about it.
We certainly hope you guys enjoyed listening and had as much fun as we did recording. Thank you for listening to Two Strangers, One Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Paul.
Don't be a stranger.
Peace. We're out.
Bye.
All right, here we go, man. Go ahead. You want to read
Double
it?
Jackpot.
What is it?
It is a self-published book by Christopher Cologne.
Chris Cologne? Smells good to me.
But
Look at her. That broke that fucking cold little exterior. He's like, hee.
But it is spelled Colon.
Him punny.
But Double Jackpot is a book about a comic book artist, Eric, who is in a loveless relationship with a materialistic
I feel you, Eric.
Lynette.
Oh, fucking. Are you sure I didn't write this? I smell sounds hauntingly familiar.
He starts cheating on his girlfriend with a more creatively supportive woman, Nadia.
Well, I gotta meet her. Where's the Nadia?
There's your summer girlfriend.
Summer Nadia is Nadia.
Nadia?
Yeah, I think Nadia spelled with an A.
All right.
Both Lynette and Nadia play the double jackpot, the largest payout in lotto history, much like the recent Powerball. Both girls play his birth date as the winning numbers. Eric is now stuck between two of the country's richest women. Who will he choose? It's not that simple. This is a clever fucking idea,
Yeah, it
man.
is.
Look at her, fucking. She's impressed.
I am.
She got some summer reading. Christopher Cologne smells real lovely with an original idea. This is. I've never heard this before.
I haven't either. This is a self-published book, much in the indie spirit as Kev's Clerks.
Oh, you don't even need to name check me. This is just a good idea. You could stand on your own, man. You don't even have to be like, hey, remember Clerks? This is nothing like that. This is way more original than Clerks. This is a good idea, man. Why didn't I think of this?
I need something to read. This book is part of the Comic Books, Heavy Metal, Video Games Trilogy Book 2. Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, coming soon.
Right on, man. It's part of a trilogy. This is the first part.
Way to write, man.
He's seeking a literary agent. Motherfuckers, anybody out there? There ain't no literary agents listening to this show, I assure you, sure. Sure. I assure you, sure. But somebody know a literary agent? Hook a motherfucker up! Chris Cologne come up with an original idea. I should tell Raskin, that's a good fucking idea, to be honest with you. That's a fucking rom-com right there. Megan, get Raskin on the phone. Isn't it possible to get Raskin on the phone? No?
Yeah.
I want to run it past him, man. And if it happens, I get a taste, Chris Cologne. I get a whiff, if you will.
The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com.
That's lulu.com.
I understand that. I just want to spell it out.
Normally one says it, that spells it. Still, lulu.com. What is that? Do you know what it is?
I don't know. All right. The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com. Search for Double Jackpot Christopher Cologne. A paperback version of the book is $15, and a PDF file is only $5.
$5 is
Yeah.
insanely inexpensive. 15's not even that bad for a paperback version.
No.
This is $1 million idea right here. Like a movie about a dude who fucking is stuck between two chicks, both of who play his birthday and win the lottery. Come on! I can see that trailer. Chris Cologne is on to something. Nobody else can smell it but me.
I'll read it.
Thank you. I'm going to make that smelly joke.
I know. You're trying to get me to laugh again.
It worked once. Double Jackpot is a self-published book by Chris Cologne, man. It's the first book in his comic books, heavy metal, video games trilogy. Book 2, Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, should be coming out soon. Get all the information at Chris Cologne, like a motherfucker.
I
and
will
his
totally
book,
read this.
Double Jackpot. I'm serious. I'm going to recommend that to fucking Raskin. How is that not a movie? You know what I'm saying? This could be a sexy movie. You could do an R-rated version. There could be nudie in it, and you could show them fucking both chicks. Maybe a little penetration. Maybe a butthole shot. No butthole, no care.
I would like to formally apologize to Christopher Cologne. Right
No,
now,
sex
but-
sells. Chris Cologne will appreciate that. He's like, thanks for throwing a few buttholes in there, man.
Don't forget to check out twostrangersonepodcast.net, your one-stop resource for everything show-related. You can find links to subscribe to us on iTunes or on Stitcher. You could also find links to buy my book, Double Jackpot, on twostrangersonepodcast.net.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool.